We got horrible roommates. Who do you live with? Let me know. Or if you have like a roommate nightmare story, also tell me that.
Okay, so the story as to why she was on the bed naked, it's kind of uneventful.
Huh?
But pretty much she didn't like getting dressed in the bathroom, so she would get dressed out in the room. And one morning, it's like 8 a.m. I'm waking up for class. I turn over to check my phone and I look, and she's just on the bed, like just naked, like air drying, putting lotion on. And I'm like, okay, there's no way, like this is absurd. Like I have to be dreaming, because there's no way that this is happening in real life. Like no way. And I'm like, maybe it was just like a one-time thing. Like she did know that I was gonna wake up this early, you know, it was a mistake. But no, it wasn't a mistake, because if she wasn't naked on the bed, then she was naked in front of the mirror getting ready.
Oh, she just likes to be naked.
In front of the mirror, then she was sitting at her desk naked doing her makeup. And I'm like, okay, this is getting out of hand. I'm uncomfortable at this point, because why am I walking in from class? I just want to take a nap. I've had a long day. And when I walk in my room, I see your booty crack. Like, I don't want to see your butt crack when I'm walking in my room. Like, please.
Oh, no.
Put a robe on. Please be for real.
Maybe she's a nudist.
But yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to just move out quietly. But they didn't have any more singles available. So we had to end up having the conversation. So when we had the conversation, she was like, we're both girls, get over it. And I'm like, excuse me?
I thought so.
Did I just hear you say get over it? Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I moved out, and like I never spoke to her again.
I mean, people are allowed to be naked in their home if they want to be, technically, but like I would, even if I was like one with my body, wanted my freedom, wanted to be nude all the time, if I had a roommate, like I would ask them. I just feel like that's the nice thing to do. Nothing against you wanting to be naked. Great. You feel great. You look great. But like, it's making me a little uncomfy.
Let me get straight to it. So this girl, what she used to do is that, you know, as women, every month we get our monthlies, right? Okay, for people who are not a fan of women talking about their periods and stuff, please just leave the chat right now.
Leave the chat. You heard it. There's your warning.
TMI,
leave the chat.
TMI, but I have to share my experience. So Shapu, when she gets her monthlies, baby girl would literally change her pad and not use like any like plastic or whatever to go like throw it in the trash can or whatnot. She would literally wrap it with the same plastic in which she took out like the pad. You know, that small plastic that comes with, not the one that comes with the whole pack like of
I understand what you're saying.
But the one that like the individual packs, those ones. I hope I'm making sense. She would wrap it in that and then put it under her bed.
What?
For the duration of her period. So her periods used to last a good 5-6 days. Yeah. And for that 6 days or 5 days, her pads will literally be camping underneath her bed. She never used to open the windows. She was always in Hini. I was always on campus. She used to do a foundation, so she'd go to campus around 8, come back around 2. I used to go to campus around 7:30, come back around 5, 6. Windows closed. You can imagine the smell.
I do not want to imagine. That is not where I thought that story was going. I thought she was just going to say she had a problem with how she wrapped up her business and threw it in the trash. No! Camping under your... Why are you collecting it?
Let's swap worst ever hostel roommate stories.
A hostel?
I'll go first. This happened to Kyle and I last night and this morning in the hostel that we're still currently staying in, but now we're in a private room.
I watch way too much true crime to ever go to a hostel, but I am intrigued by it. So this, I feel like this is gonna be good, and it's gonna prove to me why I won't ever go to a hostel.
We're in an 8-person mixed dorm, which means 8 people, both men and women. And the quiet hours of the hostel were from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So Kyle and I are out in the common room and we're playing cards, and around like 10:30 we're pretty tired because we had gone hiking and everything. We decide it's time to head to bed. As we're heading in, there's another girl who's also heading into the room. I think she had just checked in, and all 3 of us are being super quiet. It's really hard to tell if there's anyone in the room sleeping because there are curtains over the beds, but we're all operating as if there are people sleeping and we're all being super quiet. Kyle and I get into bed, and this other girl who walked in at the same time as us, she's trying to make her bed and get everything sorted because she had just checked in, and she's being pretty quiet. Like, it's fine. Everyone knows what to expect when you're sharing a room in a mixed dorm in a hostel. And she accidentally dropped something. I don't know what it was. It sounded like, could have been like a hairbrush or something. And all of a sudden, the room is filled with a deep, manly voice yelling almost on top of his lungs, saying, "You guys are awesome. Wow, thanks." But like screaming that, yelling that. So if someone happened to sleep through the hairbrush getting dropped, they most definitely did not sleep through the super scary, angry yelling. And the room is silent. Like nobody says anything, nobody claps
So
back.
awkward.
Everyone's just dead silent, and we all go to sleep. And then the next morning, our alarm goes off. And this is where the adult temper tantrum begins.
No.
Before I go on to describe what happened next, let me just say that setting alarms in hostel dorm rooms is completely normal.
Oh,
People have to
my
get
God.
up to catch flights. People have to get up to
I didn't even
catch
think
buses,
of that.
trains, check out. There's a whole bunch of reasons why someone would need to set an alarm. We personally had to set an alarm because we had to return our crampons that we had rented the day before.
Oh God.
And so we set this alarm, and let me say, it was a little bit louder than we meant to have it, but it was nothing crazy, and it was also not like a rah, rah, rah alarm. It was literally soft music.
No.
Okay? It was a soft musical alarm, and we
I'm scared.
got this alarm like 2 or 3 seconds after it started. So it was 2 or 3 seconds of soft music alarm, okay? When I tell you this man does not skip a beat, it is as if he was lying in his bed, awake, waiting for someone to make a noise so that he could scream about it. Like, it was crazy. So at the top of his lungs, he goes, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
The thought that everyone is in these shared rooms with just a curtain. I'm sure people have a lot of wonderful experiences in hostels, but no. Are you guys a hostel type person? Like, do you go to hostels? Do you enjoy them? Good. Better you than me.
Okay, I know that everybody thinks that they've had the worst roommate ever, but like, I truly
We've heard some bad
promise
ones
you,
today.
I have had the worst roommate on the entire planet. This is like a 4-year story, so it might be a couple parts. Bear with me, I swear I will make it as short as possible. So I'm hanging out with this group of like fraternity guys, and one of them is dating this girl, and they end up like breaking up. It was a super nasty breakup. She gets blacklisted. Everybody's like, she's absolutely crazy. Who cares? I don't know this girl. But I do know her name. So like a year later, I'm really desperate to move out of my parents' house. I'm on Facebook looking up places to live. I find this place. I don't recognize the girl. I'm like, okay, whatever. I've lived with strangers before. No big deal. So I go over there to look up. Guess who opens the door? Crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm like, that's weird. Like, she was under a different name, but like maybe she changed her name. I don't know. So I'm talking to her. She seems normal. The apartment is nice. The room's really cheap. She tells me that she's married now. She got married to this guy within 5 months. They were dating for 5 months and got married. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. I'll live with a couple if it's cheap rent. So I move in. Everything's dandy. Like a month after I moved in, she's all of a sudden telling me that her and her husband are getting divorced now, or getting it annulled because they haven't even been married long enough for it to count. And then she's telling me about how he's like crazy and abusive and is trying to break into our apartment, so she has to change all the locks. And I've met this guy, and like he seemed totally normal, but like obviously you don't know with guys, so I'm gonna believe the girl in this situation. She's my roommate. So far she has a totally different name. She married a guy after 5 months, and now they're getting divorced a month after I move in, and she's saying that he's crazy and abusive. So crazy guy disappears out of our lives. It's just me and the 2 other girls in the apartment for like a year, and honestly everything was chill. Like I would catch this girl lying about the weirdest things. Like she would tell everybody that she couldn't drink because she was anemic and it made her really sick, but yet I would literally sit and watch her drink alcohol all the time. And like things would be moved around in my bedroom, but like I didn't really care. And there's so much more weird stuff this girl did that I just can't remember at all. But then crazy girl decides she's gonna get 2 cats, and these cats are like abused, like completely in our apartment. Like she never spends time with them. Their litter boxes are never clean. Our apartment starts to stink so bad because like they're peeing and pooping everywhere. They're throwing up all over the place. They have goop coming out of their eyes. And I keep telling her like, Riley, it stinks in here. It really stinks in here. Like, could you do something about it? And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Never does anything to fix it. The smell got to be so bad that I literally had to move my clothes and everything to my boyfriend's house. I had to do all my laundry there. I had to change there because like my clothes just smelled like pure cat pee and poop. Like everybody was telling me that. It was so embarrassing. My boyfriend could not come and visit me because he would literally open the door to my apartment and start vomiting like over the stairwell next to my door. Then I go through like this whole 2-week mental breakdown where like I should have been in a psych ward, honestly. And I was like, I can't live this like anymore. Like I have to leave. So me and the other girl that were living there were like, we have to go. Like we found better places to live. We never told her it was because of her stinky cats. We were very nice about it and just said we found a better place to go. We do all the paperwork to get off the lease. Not 1 time, but 2 times did we do the paperwork to get off the lease.
We got the part 2. and I'm a little bit invested in this one, but I will say that hurts my heart because you should not have pets if you cannot properly take care of them. It's not fair.
The other roommate and I have gone in 2 separate times and done the same thing 2 times to get off this lease. So there's no reason that we should be on the lease anymore. We are living our carefree lives when all of a sudden I start getting emails upon emails telling us that we are getting evicted from our apartment. And she didn't pay the rent on time. Immediately, me and the other girl are like, why are we still on the lease? I went through the paperwork twice to get off of this lease. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, the office must have messed something up. But, like, we do move out in 2 months. So would you mind just staying on the lease so we don't have to go through the whole process again? And I'm like, yeah, like, if you pay your rent, I don't mind for another 2 months. But, like, you're getting eviction notices. So can you pay your rent? She pays the rent. We're all good. I'm like, I guess I'll stand there for 2 months. Like, what's another 2 months out of this 9 that, like, I didn't even know I was on there? So their lease ended in August. And, like, September 10th, I get an email saying that their rent is due and they're getting evicted again. And I'm like, they shouldn't even be living there. So of course I text the girl and I'm like, hey, like, you guys moved out, right? Like, why is it saying that you guys still live there? Did you do all the paperwork to say that you were leaving the apartment? She says, yes, I did. I emailed it to the apartment complex and I went in there and talked to them. Like, there's no reason it should be like that. But, like, I'm working a ton, so I don't have any time to go in there. Keep in mind, I follow this girl on Snapchat and Instagram, and she is gallivanting literally everywhere, not working a single hour. Like, legitimately, I see her at work probably once every 2 weeks since I've started living with her. She never works. I have no clue how she gets money. 0 clue. So I know she's lying, and I know she's not busy, but I have to deal with this. So I go to the apartment complex, and I say, hey, she apparently said that she ended the lease. No one's living in there. It's completely empty. Like, can I just sign something that says we're done? The lady at the office is super helpful. She's like, yeah, let me just edit it and fix it real quick, and it should just go down to, like, the last utility bills and, like, stuff. It's like, okay, perfect. So I get the bill down to, like, $200 for her, and I leave, and I text her. I say, hey, like, all this is done. Like, all you need to do is go in and pay the last electric bill and water bill and whatever you need to do, then, like, you should all be good. She's like, oh, thank you so much for doing that.
She's not gonna pay.
And pay it right away. A couple weeks later, I start getting emails again saying that they're going to send the bill off to collections, and it's now like $600. So I go on there. I'm like, what is the bill for? Why hasn't she paid it? Never paid the electric bill like she said she would. So all those old bills are still on there. Now there's multiple late fees on there. There are damage charges because of, like, the carpet, and the entire apartment stinky. And they're saying, we're going to send this off to collections, and my name is on the lease, so is the other girls, and so is the crazy girls.
Oh,
so
my
me and
gosh.
other girls start texting crazy girl. We're like, what are you doing? You said you were going to pay this. Now there's a late fee tagged on. If this messes up my credit, I'm going to be ticked. I haven't lived here in a year. Can you please handle? No response. So
oh my god, this went on for a year?
She blocked me and the other girl on literally every social media platform, like Facebook, all of it. We have no way of contacting. And she owes us a complex like $700. And neither one of us have lived there an entire year, and all the damages and late fees, it's all her fault. She lives with my friend's little sister now. Don't know why my friend would let his little sister live with her, but she does. And she has somehow turned my friend's little sister, like, onto her side. Like, she's such a good manipulator, like a good liar, that this is somehow my fault.
I can't believe that went on for a year. Like, a year later, you're still dealing with that.
So when I had moved in, the girl that was now moving out had interviewed me to check if we're going to vibe and so forth, right? So I did the same thing. She advised me to do the same thing.
I had to do that before.
So I did the same thing. I showed people the house, and then I would interview them to see if we'll vibe. So there's this one girl, I mean, she was nice and everything. So then I asked her, like, do you have a kid? Because that's very important for me. I wouldn't want to stay with someone who has kids when I don't have kids, right? So she says, yeah, no, I do, but he'll be staying at home with my mom. He won't be coming around. I visit him on weekends. I'm like, okay, sharp. Fast forward, okay, I started bringing the child over on my weekends without even discussing. And I mean, when you don't have a kid, I don't have kids, so on my weekends I would like to just chill in silence, right?
Different lives.
I chilled the first time. She actually brought the kid around. She brought the kid with her cousin brother or something. So they were playing. It was very loud, whatever. And then she does it again the next weekend, and I'm just like, is this girl serious? And then when I confront her, she just started being mad about it. And then she used to bring gang men in the house, okay? And it would be random men all the time. And they wouldn't even go to her bedroom when they come in. They would come in to be in the lounge. And it's so uncomfortable. Like, I mean, we live in South Africa. Nobody wants a random man in the house, because sometimes she's in the bathroom and this man is here sitting. It's different people all the time.
Oh, strange.
We spoke about the whole kid thing and the whole men thing, whatever. We move on. Kanti, we're not moving on. A girl started not speaking to me. She started hosting parties in her bedroom. Guys, it would be so loud. like loud to a point where like a person on the phone cannot hear you. They can hear the noise outside your door.
How do you have a party in your bedroom?
Crazy. And then at some point I decided, you know what, I'm actually moving out. I moved out without telling her. I told the landlord, moved out, and then she only realized on the day where I was moving, which I was moving, and then she had to stay and pay the rent for the 2 bedrooms because it was just not working for me anymore.
How big is your bedroom that you're hosting a party? What kind of party are you hosting?
I have a new roommate and they've literally been here for 2 weeks and I cannot. We pay rent like once a week and it's been 2 weeks and it's just like, oh, next time. We're just like, cool. But it's been 2 weeks, baby. I also literally came home last night. I was coming home from the gym. It's like 9:30 and she's like literally in my room. Like, what? And then I have my alarm set for 7 and I'm just like at 6 a.m. I wake up and I'm just like, what is that sound? And she's like making breakfast, which is fine. But like, she's so loud. Literally just every bowl, basically. I honestly don't know how much longer I can do this for. Literally doesn't pay rent.
Oh my God.
Scratches up all of my clothes. Eats for free. The f do you have to say for yourself?
I was pranked.
Let me know if you guys have ungrateful roommates as well.
I do have an ungrateful roommate. Her name is Lila. She's my dog. She runs the show. Somehow, this 8-pound little dog can take up my entire bed. She can demand things. I swear to God, she has an attitude problem. Like, I know this sounds weird because she's a dog, but she will look me dead in the eyes and disobey me and like roll her eyes at me. I'm not kidding. This girl's got tude. Anyways, I love her. All right, guys, let me know if you have ever had a horrible roommate. Tell me in the comments. You can just call them a fake name. Don't worry. I'm out of here though. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy, and I will see you tomorrow.